Imagine a world suddenly stripped of all its electronic lifeblood. 15 years ago, an inexplicable phenomenon erased every trace of electricity from the planet, plunging civilization back into a pre-industrial age. Cars halted, communications broke down, governments collapsed, and cities emptied as people adapted to a life without power. In this new world, we meet the residents of a small agrarian community. Among them, a family that has learned to cultivate the land using age-old techniques. The family is centered around the Mathesons, who are notable not only for their resilience, but for harboring a secret that could explain the blackout. Ben Matheson, the patriarch, and his children, Charlie and Danny, possess an item of mysterious origin, an old device, compact and intricate, that Ben insists hold the key to understanding why the lights went out, and possibly how to turn them back on. As they eke out a living in this rustic existence, the Mathesons remain vigilant. The world around them is fraught with danger from marauding bands and emergent militias, each looking to seize power in whatever form it takes, including the mysterious device the Matheson family guards so carefully. This introduction sets the stage for a saga about resilience, family bonds, and the quest for knowledge. Amid the backdrop of a society struggling to redefine itself, the Matheson family stands as a beacon of hope, their secret a possible salvation for a world ensnared by darkness. The Matheson family, with their guarded secret, live under a constant threat from those who seek to control the remnants of power in a world devoid of electricity. Ben Matheson, a former professor of physics, has always been fascinated by the potential of energy and its mechanisms. Before the blackout, he was researching sustainable energy solutions, which ironically became irrelevant in the New World Order, except for one project that never saw the light of day publicly. This project involved a small metallic device resembling nothing so much as a compact engine, capable of generating power in a manner unknown and unseen by modern science. Ben believed that this device, which he had hidden away, could not only explain the blackout, but perhaps reverse it. However, the implications of such power are immense, and in the wrong hands, it could lead to even greater catastrophe. As Ben and his family cultivate their land and tend to their community, they must also protect this secret. They have managed to avoid the attention of the local militia led by Captain Neville, a charismatic and ruthless leader who has consolidated power by commandeering all existing resources and technology. Neville has heard rumors of a device that could restore power and is on a relentless quest to find it. Ben trains his children, Charlie and Danny, not only in survival skills, but also in the importance of guarding their secret. Charlie, a fierce and determined young woman, takes after her father in intellect and resolve, while Danny, younger and more idealistic, struggles with the burden of secrecy in a world where trust is a rare commodity. Their lives take a sudden turn when Captain Neville's forces make a move closer to their community, driven by whispers of the device. The Mathesons find themselves at the heart of a dangerous game as they navigate alliances and enemies within a community teetering on the brink of tyranny and revolution. Tensions in the Matheson community escalate as Captain Neville intensifies his efforts to consolidate power and unearth any technology that could restore electricity. The Mathesons, aware of Neville's growing suspicions, prepare for the inevitable confrontation. The atmosphere is charged with a mix of fear and defiance as the community braces itself for what many believe will be a turning point in their struggle for autonomy. One evening, as dusk falls over the farmlands, Neville's militia arrives. The soldiers are not just enforcers, they're also scavengers, trained to extract valuable resources by any means necessary. Their approach is strategic, surrounding the village to prevent escape and ensure compliance. Ben, anticipating such a move, has prepared a hideout for the device, instructing Charlie and Danny to avoid direct engagement and focus on safeguarding their secret. However, the confrontation quickly escalates beyond a simple search. When Neville fails to find the device where his intelligence suggested it would be, his frustration leads to a crackdown. The militia detains several villagers, including Danny, as leverage. They believe that holding the younger Matheson will coerce Ben into surrendering the device. Charlie, witnessing her brother's capture from a hidden vantage point, feels a surge of rage and helplessness. Despite her father's orders, she decides to take action, planning a rescue for her brother under the cover of night. Her resolve is tested, not just by the physical dangers of the mission, but by the moral dilemmas she faces in risking other lives for her family's cause. The skirmish that night is fraught with chaos. Charlie manages to infiltrate the militia's temporary base, using her knowledge of the terrain in the cover of darkness. Her rescue is successful, but not without cost. As they escape, a close family friend, acting as a diversion, is fatally wounded, a sobering reminder of the stakes they face. This first major conflict sets the stage for the Mathesons' deeper involvement in the resistance against Neville's rule, marking a loss of innocence for both Charlie and Danny. Their personal battle becomes emblematic of the larger fight for freedom and control in a world darkened by more than just the absence of electricity. After the harrowing conflict and their narrow escape, the Matheson family realizes that they can no longer remain passive if they hope to survive Captain Neville's escalating tyranny. With Danny traumatized but safe, and the loss of their close friend weighing heavily on their hearts, Ben decides it's time to seek allies. He plans a journey to connect with other communities that have also suffered under Neville's rule, hoping to forge a resistance strong enough to challenge the militia's dominance. Ben, Charlie, and Danny prepare for a long and uncertain journey across what was once familiar territory, but has now become a patchwork of feudal holdings and rogue territories. Each community they intend to visit has reacted differently to the New World Order, some choosing isolation, others banding together for mutual protection. The risk is immense, but so are the potential rewards of unifying these fractured groups. As they travel, the Mathesons encounter a diverse array of survivors. In a coastal town that thrives on trade and barter, they meet Mara, a young leader who has successfully defended her people from militia incursions through cunning and guile. Her strategic acumen impresses Ben, who sees in her a valuable ally for his cause. Mara, intrigued by the possibility of a powered world, agrees to consider an alliance. Further inland, in a community built around a defunct power plant, the Mathesons meet Eli, a former engineer who has been trying to restore power in rudimentary ways. Eli's technical expertise and his community's resources offer another piece of the puzzle. Though skeptical at first, Eli is moved by the Mathesons' resolve and the tangible proof of the device's potential, eventually agreeing to lend his support. Each encounter brings new challenges and opportunities, but also new dangers. The family must navigate not only the threats posed by Neville's spies and scouts, but also the suspicions of those they aim to ally with. Trust is a rare commodity, earned slowly and tested repeatedly. As the Matheson family continues to forge alliances, their journey is marked by escalating challenges and deepening mysteries surrounding the blackout in the device. Charlie, who has grown increasingly protective of her family and their mission, becomes the de facto leader of their small group, guiding them through negotiations and potential traps. During a crucial meeting with a new group of allies, a breakthrough occurs. An elderly scientist who once worked in a government facility reveals he had heard rumors of experiments aimed at creating a supergrid, a network that could control all global energy. He suggests that the device the Mathesons possess might be a prototype of technology designed to disrupt this grid, a failsafe perhaps, that went awry and caused the worldwide blackout. This revelation sheds new light on their plight, but also brings new dangers. The information makes the device even more valuable and dangerous than previously thought, marking the Matheson family as key players in a much larger game. Their journey from being mere survivors to pivotal figures in restoring or potentially destroying the world's power structure puts them under intense scrutiny. As they assimilate this new information, betrayal strikes. One of their supposed allies, motivated by fear of Neville's retaliation and the allure of reward for capturing the Mathesons, attempts to seize the device during a tense standoff. The betrayal leads to a fierce skirmish. Although the family manages to escape with the device intact, the incident leaves them shaken and more guarded about whom to trust. The betrayal also serves as a harsh reminder of the stakes involved. It reinforces the necessity of their mission not only to fight against Neville's militia, but also to carefully manage the knowledge and power they hold. This encounter forces them to strategize more cautiously, navigating alliances with a renewed focus on security and secrecy. Following the betrayal, the Matheson's family's resolve is hardened. They understand that their quest is not only about survival, but also about securing a future where power cannot be monopolized by tyrants like Neville. This realization propels them into a series of confrontations that test their limits and define their cause. As they maneuver through hostile territories, their path converges with Neville's forces in a decisive encounter. Neville, having consolidated more power and resources, is relentless. He views the device not just as a means to control electricity, but as a symbol of ultimate authority. His forces, better equipped and driven by the promise of power restoration, lay siege to a town that has become a stronghold for the Matheson-led resistance. The battle that ensues is fierce and fraught with moral and physical challenges. Charlie takes the lead in organizing the town's defenses, utilizing everything from improvised explosive devices to strategic barricades. The resistance fighters, inspired by the Matheson's family's courage, stand their ground against a better armed militia. Danny, now more involved in the combat, executes a risky maneuver that disrupts the militia's supply lines, giving the defenders a crucial advantage. Amidst the chaos, a significant confrontation unfolds between Ben and Captain Neville. It is not just a battle of arms, but of ideologies. Ben argues the necessity of a world where power is shared and not hoarded, where the device could symbolize a new beginning rather than a return to old destructive ways. Neville, cynical and power-hungry, dismisses Ben's vision, asserting that control is the only path to peace. The battle culminates in a tense standoff, with the Mathesons managing to outmaneuver Neville, leading to his capture. However, instead of exacting revenge, they offer him mercy, a chance to join in building a better future. This act of leniency marks a pivotal moment, showcasing their commitment to a different kind of leadership. After their significant victory over Captain Neville and his forces, the Matheson family and their allies face the daunting task of rebuilding and reorganizing. Their success has not only inspired other communities to rise up, but has also attracted attention from other power-hungry factions eager to claim the device for themselves. In the aftermath of the battle, Ben Matheson takes a leading role in forming a new council intended to govern the region with fairness and distribute resources equitably. The council's first task is to secure the area against further attacks and to decide the fate of the device. The family advocates for using the device not as a weapon or a tool of dominance, but as a means to study and potentially reverse the blackout safely. However, as plans move forward, a new threat emerges in the form of a rival militia, led by a former ally of Neville who escaped the previous conflict. This new antagonist, General Monroe, is more ruthless and cunning than Neville. He believes that controlling the device can restore his version of order to the world. Monroe's forces launch a surprise attack, catching the newly formed council off guard and reigniting conflict. Charlie, seasoned by past battles, leads the defense operations, employing guerrilla tactics learned over years of skirmishes. She works closely with brother Danny, who has grown into a skilled strategist. Together, they orchestrate a series of counterattacks that push Monroe's forces into a defensive position. The climax of this new conflict occurs when Monroe, in a desperate bid for power, attempts to seize the device during a parley. The encounter leads to a tense showdown where Charlie and Monroe face off. The confrontation ends with Monroe's defeat, his own greed and aggression leading to his downfall. The victory solidifies the Mathesons' leadership and their vision for a new society. The community rallies around them, ready to face the future with hope rather than fear. After the defeat of General Monroe and the stabilization of their community, the Matheson family, along with their allies, begin the challenging yet hopeful process of rebuilding. The victory has not only secured their immediate safety, but has also set a precedent for how power should be approached and utilized in this new world. Ben Matheson, ever the visionary, spearheads efforts to develop a decentralized system where the device's technology can be studied and potentially replicated safely, without the risk of it becoming a tool for tyranny. He advocates for open source collaboration among communities, sharing knowledge and resources to prevent future power monopolies. This new approach fosters a sense of unity and progress that gradually spreads beyond their local region. Charlie, whose leadership and bravery have become legendary, takes on a role in training and organizing a community defense force that is based on principles of equality and defense rather than aggression and conquest. Her experiences have taught her the importance of being prepared and resilient, lessons she is eager to pass on to others. Danny, influenced by his experience and losses, dedicates himself to community outreach, helping to integrate new groups into the society and ensuring that the scars of past conflicts do not hinder their collective future. His empathy and understanding become crucial in healing the community and building bridges between former enemies. The Mathesons also establish a memorial for those lost in the conflicts, serving as a reminder of the costs of power struggles and the value of peace. This space becomes a gathering place for people to remember, reflect, and renew their commitment to a shared, brighter future. As the story concludes, the Mathesons look out over a community gathering where people from different backgrounds and experiences share their stories and dreams. The camera pulls back to show a thriving town, lights flickering on as the evening sets in, a symbol of their hard-won progress and hope. The tale of the Matheson family closes on a note of cautious optimism, highlighting the enduring human spirit and the belief that even in the darkest times, a light can be found and nurtured for the betterment of all.